Who's gonna, okay, he's gonna tap it. And you call the meeting to order after he taps it. Thank you.
You did better than the mayor.
One of the challenges that I gave them to the Centennial at the DARE graduation was I challenged those fifth graders to come and take my job. So hopefully in the future, that's what we're hopefully they come and do take my job. So when they're old enough. Right? So with that, with the roll call, tonight we have council members Busenbark to our right, Cloward, Hancock, Goodrich, and Allen here with us tonight. And I have asked, and of course, I'm your mayor, Tommy Olson, and with that, we have a prayer by council member Bill Hancock and Pledge of Allegiance by Rowdy Cloward.
Father, we're thankful that we could gather here this evening as a local city council. We're thankful for the community that we reside in, for the people that live here, and ask God bless us so we can render decisions that are for the benefit of the citizens of the community. We do so humbly in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And with that, I would like to recognize the junior council members and the mayors if they would like to come up. We have, in attendance tonight, we have Hayden Chapman, come on up. Lydia Haig, come on up. And of course, you've met Maddox, Keaton, and Evan. So now, one thing that they had to do, they each had to run for their positions. And so they actually, Maddox, you gave like a 3-minute talk, correct? Yeah, so they had to put out some effort, and they were elected by their peers at each school. And we want to say congratulations.
Can I get a photo of everyone here, and then we can have everybody looking at the camera here? Awesome, here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you so much.
I have one last question for you. What is one thing that you like about Roosevelt?
On the spot. Besides your parents, then we're here. The baseball program, the wrestling program, basketball program.
Okay, do you enjoy the parks here? Do you get to go out and enjoy the parks? Good. Do you golf? Not really.
What about you guys?
Softball?
They do softball field.
You have an awesome sister, right? Reagan? All right, thank you. I'll let you sit down. All right, I've let them know that it's a school night, it's the last week of school, so you don't feel obligated to go ahead and stick around. If you need to go, you're more than welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming.
You were hiding over there, now you can't hide, yeah.
Looking from my notes here. With that, I will open it up for approval of previous minutes.
I move to approve.
Okay, we have a Motion to approve,
I'll second it.
and a second by Councilmember Goodrich. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, at this point, we have a total of 15 minutes, 3 minutes per person, for a public comment period for anyone that would like to, public comment?
Good evening. I live on 500 East. I'm just here to,
If you'll state your name, please.
Justin McLaughlin.
Thank you.
I'm just here to address the sand issue that's been pretty bad on 500 East. It's just south of Centennial Elementary. It's caused thousands of dollars in damages. It's in the attic of my house. We have a couple neighbors here. I understand we can't control the weather, and from what I understand, the city has tried to get a hold of the landowner. I myself have tried to get a hold of him as well. But something has to be done. It's not gonna stop. I'm currently at about $3,000 in fixing it. I've had to completely tear out my yard, put a fence in, along with my neighbor across the street. So I just wanna see what the city can do to assist that neighborhood, because it is not getting any better.
So can you tell me, give me give us a little more information as to,
So that empty lot that's across from me, just south of
50 and how
Central,
south? How far south?
a quarter mile.
Below 1080.
Mhm.
1080 south to about
Yeah.
1400 south. You get
And
to try-
it's, when the wind is really blowing and kids are walking home, because it's always in the middle of the day, you honestly can't even see across the street, so it's a health hazard, it's a safety hazard. And that road has been notorious for, as soon as you pass 1100, or, 1080, there's a lot of cars that like to accelerate because there's nothing past that. It has gotten better because the police have patrolled it, but with the wind blowing across the street, and I'm the first house in the neighborhood, and it just has, it put 10 inches of sand in my yard. And we had to completely rip all my grass out, put a fence up, as I mentioned. It's in my attic, it's all over my spray insulation, and it's become a health and safety concern for sure.
okay. Can you get, what's the address again? 5th East and?
But just south of 1080 South, it's that big, huge open lot, but they just last year, they put it no trespassing, and that's helped, and from what I understand, I don't know how true it is, the city had contacted them originally, the landowner. It's Tight Development LLC out of Salt Lake City, but they had contacted them in order to get them to get rid of the weeds because of the fire hazard. And instead of just mowing it down, they did a complete ground clearing, and now it's just nothing but sand and any type of wind. I mean, it gets in my windowsills. I can wipe the counter down in my house and it's sand, and it's, like I said, I know we can't control the weather, but I think we have to do something about the landowner, and I just don't know where to start.
Okay. All right, can we,
I mean, again, I have pictures, just,
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've noticed
Yeah, I
the
mean, it's
sand crossing the
really,
road and
really
the
bad.
cars there, so.
and it even mounds up on the road where the city has to go get a loader and then go street sweep it. And it'll be so bad, it'll be almost the whole way across the road where it's just a sand dune.
all right, thank you, I appreciate your comments and,
Thank you.
Right, we got 3 minutes for all of us.
yeah, you have 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm the neighbor, he said, town of Hunsley. Yes, we are second house and we are across him. I would say that it's a little bit away from the wind, but it's not, we fixed, the sprinklers heads a few times, we did, our lawn is destroyed and the house is in sand the whole time, so. Something, what's our options, what's our solution, something. We don't have,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. Sorry.
Yes.
Could you state your name? Sorry.
Fazli, F-A-Z-L-I, Fazli, yeah.
And I'm Grace Merrill. These homes are the houses that are 500 through 599 east on 1140 south. So there's 10 homes in this cul-de-sac, and of those, 7 of them have visible damage. The first 2 houses have, out of their own pockets, put up fences to help and control this. But everything that the sand gets on, it kills. So it's killed all of our lawns where we're digging those out. We had to spend our own money to try and combat this wind. It's getting in the drains and the sewer systems. And, yeah, there's just nothing that it doesn't touch, that it doesn't ruin. In fact, I'm seeing damage to my driveway and sidewalks because it's corroding those as well, which will have to eventually be replaced. So we would ask that hopefully this property owner, could, they're not here to see it since they're in Salt Lake, and their property managers are not there. They came in and put the fence in and haven't been back to check on dumping and things like that. But we would hope for a fence and a solid fence so that we are in our subdivision protected. Because those homes have been there since 2013 with full yards. And all of a sudden, since 2024, we've had experiencing this damage to our properties. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Just a quick follow-up question, if I may.
Uh-huh.
Like you're saying a fence, like a retaining fence that will hold the sand back?
They're putting up vinyl fence on their yards. Yeah, the 4 foot that they can take there on 500 East.
The neighbors are with the property owner at issue.
He has not, no. We've got nothing there.
Sierra, did you get those names? Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name's Nikki McLaughlin. Dustin's my husband. I just am just gonna kind of add to maybe some solutions that they could do to the bill. Like, we had to put up some hay bales just along the sidewalk to see if a fence would even work. And the sand would blow so much and for so long that it would build up onto the bales of hay, and then it would spill over the bales of hay just across our lawn. I don't know if they can put up some kind of drift fence, even if they go dig dirt mounds all along that field so the wind can at least stop some of that sand. I don't know, it's a hazard. I've got pictures of kids that are trying to walk home from school and they're fighting the sand and they're putting hoods over their faces. Us trying to pull out of that neighborhood, it's a leap of faith because sometimes you can't even see. When you're driving south down that road, you can just see a wall of sand that's just blowing into. It gets in my house, it's in the windowsills. I have to scrape it out of the windowsills so I can open my windows. It's getting through the hinges on my doors. It's on the walls. I've got video within an hour. I vacuum it off of my baseboards, and then in an hour it's a lot. It's just not a little dusting. It's a lot. We have to mop all the time. Like my husband stated, it's in our attic, it's in our windowsills. I have a garden in my backyard. It's killed my tomato plants. It's just, and I know it's wind and I know, but if there's just something that can be done and will help with you guys, because, you know, I've heard from several city workers that came to like fix stuff, because we've had to dig the dirt off of the water boxes so they can access our water. There was a guy up there poking around because he couldn't even find it. It's literally under 6. Yeah, it's all of our properties. So we're just trying to get the word out there, because I don't know, if you're not driving down there, you don't really see it, but when you're in the midst of it, it's quite intense. So hopefully we can work together to get this resolved, you know, so I don't know what else, but I know there's some things they can do over in that field. I have a cousin that lives in Arizona, and she said that the city of Arizona, I know that's a different state, but they have wind issues. They live in a desert, and there's some kind of tackifier that you can put on the soil that will hold the soil down. The city makes them put gravel down. They make them put sand down, because there's a fungal spore that's in sand that's called valley fever, and that's what their main concern is for blowing sand in Arizona is valley fever. So I googled, has there ever been valley fever in Utah? And there has been a case of valley fever in Utah, in northeastern Utah. So I don't know if that also could be a concern for health. We have a lady in our neighborhood that's on Social Security because she's disabled, and she's got a lot of health issues, and I know that it bothers her. So I don't know if what we can do to maybe help get this addressed, so, thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Okay.
And I see that you've kind of been talking with Josh there. Okay, and you'll leave that conversation with them?
Yeah, I have Dustin's phone number. Can I give, you have every Dustin's contact, can I get ahold of you?
I have my wife.
Okay. If I can just get your contact before you leave, phone number, then Mayor, I'll look at some creative solutions and see if there's something that we can do. And first thing is, like you said, reach out to other cities, see what they've done, so we can try to see what's out there. for you. Yes, if you'll just make sure your names are on the sign-in sheet with contact
We didn't get it
information,
yet, so.
that'd be great.
Hi, my name's Greg Buxton. Just listening to what's going on here, and I would just like to offer what I think is an economical solution that's used on dirt roads and things a lot to keep the dust down is an application of magnesium chloride. It's used quite frequently on dirt roads to keep the dust down and stuff, so I just wanted to throw that out.
Okay, thank you, Brent.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. David Kettle, KK Sanitation. I apologize, not on the agenda, but we did want to come and give a small report from the tree cleanup. I do have a quick paper here for you. We hauled off 6.2 semi-loads this year, which is a considerable amount of trash. It's comparable to prior years. The biggest thing that we did different, we didn't raise our rates on anything, but we did throw a fuel surcharge in there, which I think is pretty much self-explanatory and stuff. But just wanted to give that to you tonight and kind of give a little bit of report. We felt like it was a real good effort. We felt like the community was very involved in it and it was busy. And we appreciate the city being a part of it and sponsoring it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And did you get this to Josh or to Zeke or something?
Not yet.
I just wanted to give a big thank you to the Parks Department for fixing playground bridge up on Constitution Park. That's all I want. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, Dustin. All right, congrats. Okay, that has been about 15 minutes, so I will, unless there are any comments by the council, I'm gonna move on then to our committee appointments, and I do have some council appointments that I would like to do at this time. So we have planning and zoning and Don Rowdy, Audrey and Bo. You had all expressed some interest in that. We only need two, but
I have a harder time making the meeting, so if
Okay.
someone else wants, I mean,
Okay.
I'm happy to try to do it, it's just harder for me because my schedule. I don't have a
this is
real
the
job.
planning and zoning.
Maybe come back to that, and if the people fit other places better,
Okay.
then that might free up who's best there. Like, I'm fine other places are there, whatever.
So, what I would like to propose is on the airport board, Rowdy and Cody. The Arts, Parks and Rec, Audrey, Rowdy and Bo. Economic
Can they
development.
have three of us on that?
Can't have three, I'll need
You can have
two,
three, okay, sorry,
because it's a core.
okay, oh yes, so, Audrey, you were already there. Rowdy and Bo, do either you feel more inclined?
It's Thursday nights at 6, if that makes a difference for either of you. On the
He
3rd,
said he was it.
Okay. So then what I would do is,
I take the planning and zoning.
yeah,
Okay, and that's
Let's do that.
on Wednesday.
Wednesday, first Tuesday, or yeah, sorry, first Tuesday.
Did you send me calendar invites for that?
economic development, Audrey and Bo, interfaith, Audrey and Bo,
No,
no,
that's me.
That's Dawn and I.
Dawn. Okay.
I've been on
Sorry,
interfaith.
I didn't know that, my bad.
All right.
The golf course advisory.
Rowdy.
Bo and Rowdy. And then what I would like to also propose is that the cafe, whoever is running the cafe and has that contract, they also have a seat on that. Are you good with that?
Yeah, I think the charter allows up to 5 to 7 members on that, with one being outside of the one or two, Josh, your grant member that can be outside of the city limits on that. It's 2 on the Roosevelt Golf Course Committee, who can be outside the city limits, right?
It's 1 or 2, I don't remember.
One or two, okay. We'll assemble it, and now that Matt is here, we'll work with him too.
Roosevelt Housing Authority, Audrey. Planning and zoning would go to Bo and Audrey. Department assignments, admin services, Don and Bo. With Zeke. Police, Don and Cody. With Chief Watkins. Fire, Rowdy and Cody with, who would help me with that one, Josh?
Lee Rockley.
Oh, Lee Rock, okay, thank you.
Chief Rocky.
It was just so tiny, I couldn't. And then Human Resources, Bo, Audrey, and Brock. Public Works, Don, Audrey, and Kirby. Parks, Cody and Rowdy. And Recreation, Bo and Cody. Any questions or comments? That work for everybody?
There. One thing of clarification for the housing authority, that does not have to be a council assignment. Councilman Goodrich mentioned that she would like to be on that. Bo is on that as well. I know as housing authority, we talked about a couple of things. We know there are some names that were tossed around, but that does not have to be a council assignment. But I do know that Councilman Goodrich has expressed interest in serving.
Happy to do it, but I don't need to, so.
And not that she can't, she absolutely can be on it.
Okay, very good.
I think Audrey, we're always supportive of you being part of this.
Okay,
Whether you like it or not, we're happy to have you.
alright.
Okay, moving down to number 7, public hearings. And what I would like to do on this public hearing, 7A, I would entertain a motion for a public hearing, and then immediately following that, we will move to 8A. I believe those go hand in hand. That works, and then we can address those action items immediately after 7A and 7B with 8A and 8B.
So Mayor, are you okay if they first introduce it, then we go to public hearing and then come out of public hearing for each one? Usually we have the person that's directing it come and share what it is, then we go to public hearing.
Okay.
That way the public can know what it's about.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, just clarifying.
Okay, so with the fee schedule changes.
Let me go first. Right at me. Good evening, Council. Edwin Butterfield, Roosevelt Rec Director. So do we have, give her a second here. Do we have, I would like to get our memo up. We have some information on the recreation fees that we're proposing. Let's go over it should be like a draft for recreation fees is what I'd like to go for first. We'll highlight everything.
Sorry, they're not important.
I guess I'll give a little introduction over what we're doing and why, as she's trying to find that file. So we're trying to make sure that we get a little bit more transparency on our fees in the recreation department. There were certain fees that weren't actually included on the recreation side, things like a fishing class that we introduced last year, tennis, as well as kind of clarity on our city-sponsored runs. What we've tried to do before is we have some vague answers to start with in the year so we could get some activities going, but we want to make sure that when we do open up the fee schedule, that we get that included on the fee schedule, so we follow that as well. And so with that there, when we do get that pulled up, the items that we added, I mentioned some of them. We also needed to clarify the fees that we were charging with junior jazz, so those are added on there as well. We would like to try to do youth hockey. That's a big popular sport that's coming through the state, and so we wanted to make sure we had fees included for youth hockey.
Would that be outdoors?
Right now, we're gonna start doing a couple of things. One, we're gonna try through UBIC to do a little tournament thing, if we could try to get going then. And then in fall, we'd like to try to spark some more interest in getting the schools and offer things through PE. And hopefully after that, we should be able to see if there's enough interest where we can actually make a league. We did try it this last year, and we had about 5 to 8 people. So we're trying to see if we could kind of make it a little bit shorter, kind of get the equipment in their hands, give them a chance to see like, hey, here's what these are, and see if we could try to build momentum before we actually try to open up a league going forward. So thank you, Sierra. So again, you can see up on there, all the highlighted items are items that are either not included on the fee schedule or needed to be updated to reflect what we've been charging. The only other ones I haven't noted that I haven't said yet is about our adult co-ed volleyball and our men's league basketball. Wanted to make sure that the fee was listed correctly there. With our city-sponsored runs, before we had it listed as a 3K, which they don't do that. It's either a 1 mile, kind of a fun run, or a 5K. They have done 10Ks and some other stuff we'd like to venture into. So it's just more for clarity to instead say, hey, we're only could charge for this duration. If we say youth and adult, that opens us up more to be able to do more lengthy races without having to come back to add something else to the fee schedule on that as well. And the fees do reflect for the races of what we're purchasing to help with cover some of the costs and help balance between that there. Lastly, we have a fee that Dustin has been helping with our city leagues like AYSO Soccer, Cougar FC, the Youth Football League, where they pay a certain dollar amount. We've been doing it's $15 per athlete per league per year. And so we just wanted to make sure that was also included where it has not been prior.
Do you have some information on there's, my understanding, do we have an adult soccer league?
So with adult soccer, that is ran independently and also it's been done in the field house at the high school. So it's not even on city property. And thanks for clarifying. These fees are for sports and programs that are on city property.
Okay.
So,
How about the ones that they do play at the park?
so with that adult league, they do pay that, correct?
Yeah, they pay that $15 per sign up to use our facility.
Good.
Yeah, in the spring and fall.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions from council?
Hockey,
Yes.
I see there's a fee, it's up. Are they going to Vernal for that?
The youth
Just like
hockey
in a
fee, that's
gym.
$50. So again, we would be doing it more like a street hockey. We're not gonna do
Okay.
ice hockey.
Okay.
I mean,
I saw-
eventually when we have a decent enough winter and we can do something maybe, but you know, right now that's not an option, but. And, you know,
Where are they doing the tennis lessons at?
so tennis lessons, Becca Bruff has been working with us there where we've been helping with getting the program together, getting gear and working with them. They do it on the tennis courts at the high school. So, and it's where Becca Bruff has that done under her umbrella as one of the high school coaches. That's how we've been operating it that way, so.
But I guess we're not using those city fields, right? But we're charging a fee.
For the tennis lessons,
Yeah, that's what it says. I don't mind charging a fee. I'm just wondering, where does that, is that
so
going
the
to pay?
fee is
her?
going to pay for the equipment and also we're paying the instructors, the youth
Okay.
instructors.
I'm just trying to clarify, because a lot of stuff is using fields, and that's,
That's one that's not there, yeah.
is that something we've worked out with the school district on, or at least with the school, that we're okay to use their facility and stuff?
Becca Bruff was working with Aaron last year and got that set up and.
Okay, that's fine.
Wasn't done. So,
I'm not
no, good
opposed,
question.
yeah, I'm just trying to clarify.
Yeah. Where it kind of helps where both the high school is helping her and her program too, because it's almost as if a theater program for her
Yeah,
too.
no, I think she needs a feeder, that's not a problem. And then the junior jazz, is that just an increase, is that what their rates
Yeah,
are?
and then I did go through to make sure to compare with other places too, and it is in the rounds of what other places have been charging. I mean, you have some high-end ones like Cottonwood Heights, I see are charging anywhere between 80 to 90 between resident, non-resident. I see some lower-end ones, I think Carbon I saw had a 50 to 60, but a lot of them were around that mark, around that $60 mark.
And we don't
so-
distinguish for city and non-city.
Res, non-res, no. So it is comparable with the fees that are throughout the state and our demographics too, so.
Thank you.
And if you would like information on that too to see, I could provide that too at another time if you'd like to see
No,
junior
I'm just
jazz
glad you did
comparisons.
this. If you did it, I trust that you did it.
Okay. Any other questions?
Mayor, I move we go into public hearing to,
Do we want to go over, we've got aquatic center, we've got more here, Cheryl.
There's more fees.
He's not done.
I'm so excited.
I'm gonna take a seat and then I'll let.
I forgot Natalie has one and then there was one other, right?
Yeah.
Business. Thank you. I wrote it down and then forgot. I'm so excited to get this done. Thanks for stopping me.
Yeah, no.
Do I get my short person box?
The same. So I'm Natalie. I am new to some of these spaces up here. Some of you have seen me coming and going, but I am the Roosevelt City Aquatic Center Manager. So I am proposing today, do we have the other one? Yeah. A addition to our swim passes. We are not looking to replace or change fees on any of our current swim passes. What we're looking to do is we are looking to add in a summer pass, a specific summer pass that will go from Labor Day or from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Currently, right now, the option for our community to purchase is usually a 3-month pass. And we find with that they get a little bit irritated because that 3-month pass doesn't quite cover the entirety of the summer. And so these parents will then have to come back and buy an additional punch pass from us. So it has been a very big popular opinion from those that do come into the facility to see something that could cover them for the entirety of the summer. Especially for a lot of these young kids, this is their location to go for their enjoyment for the time. And so we are proposing a summer pass throughout all of our different fees itself that cover directly for that entirety of those days. And what we have done is we have taken the rate of our regular passes and we have just assimilated to what it would cost to add in those extra. So it would be no different than them coming in and paying for daily admission each and every time that they came in. It's just spread out now between that Labor Day to Memorial Day as a convenience for them. Now, the only thing that we would like to see is that not the only thing, but every one of these passes will still be under the same procedures as all of our other passes. Veterans, military, senior passes, things along those lines. Any current fee structure that's in place for discounts will count for these passes at the same time. So there's not gonna be anything different when it comes along to those. So, but pretty simple, kind of explanatory. So like our summer pass for our household family will go from 170 to 200. And again, we find that these families are paying this amount anyways, just in 2 separate amounts instead of just one lump sum. And then if you do look at the secondary page that we put forward, we did do some research. Currently, right now, we are one of the few that would be offering a summer pass throughout the summertime. But again, some of these are going to be difficult to compare because we have the outdoor pool for the basin. Duchesne has one, but scale-wise to facility, we are the largest on the outdoor side. So Vernal doesn't offer a summer pass. Typically, they're a full rec center, they stay specifically to their rec passes. But as we did our research throughout, at the time of doing this, they didn't have any. We got a lot of answers of, we're thinking about it, we may put one into place, we don't know what our structure is going to look like at this point in time. Which is why we chose to keep our fees to the exact same price that we have with the others and not look to increase or decrease. So.
Perfect.
And that is it for me. Thank you.
Questions?
Question? Yes, question?
Okay, thank you. And then we have one more? No?
Sarah's turn.
Yeah, my turn. I get to go from behind the computer for a second. So we recently have switched our business licensing software last year over to Civic Review. In this process, we have discovered that they take a percentage of our fee for their processing through the website. And so it caused me to look into other cities and look at what their fees were for business licensing, and we are extremely behind the curve with everybody. It has been discovered, and Drew has also noted, we haven't been charging for inspections, which are required on each of the business licenses. So to add that in, Drew, if you'll go to the Vernal Business Licenses Fees page right there. This is just Vernal's alone. I've also contacted Duchesne County, Uena County, and Duchesne City. Vernal does theirs quite a bit differently. If you scroll to the bottom, they charge based off the number of employees. And their base rate for 0 employees and owner only is $295, which our current brand new licensing for a new business license is only $100. So to add in what we are paying Civic Review or what they're taking of our percentage and the inspection fee, my proposal is to up our new business license fee to $200 from $100. And then the renewals, which are currently $50, up to $100.
And you wouldn't delineate between number of employees or anything,
No.
just,
That I feel is a little too complicated for necessary, so.
And what are we considering a business?
So any business licenses throughout Roosevelt City, if they're issued through the state, then they have to have a city license. One thing we did change when we went over to the new software is if they're doing business throughout Roosevelt and do not have a home base in Roosevelt, they don't need a Roosevelt business license, depending on the nature of the business, obviously. But a big thing at conferences I have found out is the business will pay the city that they are based out of, and then we recognize that throughout the state. So if they have an office, warehouse, whatever in Roosevelt City, then they need a Roosevelt City license. But like food trucks and stuff, if they have a Vernal business license, we do recognize them.
and when they pay for the license through this, do they use a credit card, do they use?
They can use credit card, check,
And
some
if it-
people can come in and pay cash, but
They come
it's
in
the
and pay.
credit card that's the
So,
processing fee.
right, so that's what I was wondering, the credit card, because I know we found that was a problem in the past, right? That we
Yeah.
were eating that,
Yep,
and so we were losing money. Okay,
yep, this would get us up to date with the surrounding cities as well as make sure our inspections are covered. And it would still leave us fairly below everybody else.
Does the average person, if they go sell food in a parking lot of the store or whatever, are they required a business license?
They are supposed to, yes.
And a food handler's permit, I would imagine.
Yes, the Tri-County Health has their own requirements and we just accept their permits that they permit. The initial requirement is they go through the state first and then other licensing requirements, and then the city's the last stop. So we make sure that they're up to date on all of their stuff first.
Any questions? I believe now,
now we're ready to go, I move we go into public hearing to,
we have a motion to move into.
fee
public
schedule changes.
hearing. Regarding the fee schedule changes? And we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we open this time up for any public comment period. Jeopardy.
Bueller. Okay, I move we go back into regular council session.
Okay, I have a motion to move back into
I'll
regular
second it.
public hearing, or from the public hearing back in the regular meeting. And I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, one thing I did fail to mention is, 8L, we are going to move that to 8C, actually. If that's all right. Greg Buxton is here, and so rather than having, hold on, Greg, sorry, I've got 7B and then 8B, but I'm moving you to 8C, so you don't have to be here until.
I'm gonna stick around for this Brett Hayward's thing later, so.
Okay.
I thought I'd mention that in case.
All right, now, for the fee schedule changes, action item. I would entertain a motion.
I'll move we approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve
I'll second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Final budget adoption.
Thank you, Mayor Council. We're pleased to present the fiscal year 27 annual budget. We have a little presentation prepared. I have Zeke here, and as we go through this, we'll just start at the beginning. But if you have any questions, please interrupt, throw something at us, and we'll answer those questions. So the first thing we did as we did this budget is we wanted to spend with purpose and deliver with proof. We do know it's kind of a unique time in history right now with a war going on in an oil-rich country across the world where things could go really well for us. They could go very poor for us. We're not certain. So the main approach that we want to take is a very conservative approach as we go into this budget. So some of the budget highlights on here is we want to continue with some of the projects that we've been doing, complete some of those rather than taking on a bunch of new challenges. We've been working on a lot of fun recreation projects, but we also want to make sure we're continuing with infrastructure, getting our roads done. This capital budget this year does focus a lot on street maintenance, street improvements. Mr. Wolfinger isn't here, but with Public Works, we have over $2 million that we're proposing to invest into our public roads to resurface over 13 miles within the city. So there'll be a lot of good infrastructure done. We're doing different things as far as stabilizing our spending, keeping a strong focus on community relations, partnerships. We want to work well with those around us, whether it be the private sector, whether it be other nonprofits or other entities, governmental entities. We want to have our budget to remain stable, but advance strategic priorities. And as we present these priorities, we want council to keep in mind, as staff presents priorities, council is about policymakers. Your priorities are what we want to enact. So please make sure that this is coming from you as council, our elected officials. We have a lot of different things that we've done this year. We've reorganized a lot of the staffing organization within our org chart. We have new leadership programs. We're trying to train from within, give multiple different employees opportunities to learn, grow, and participate. As we go through this budget, this was not a budget that was created by myself and Zeke. We included not only department heads, but division managers, supervisors, really anybody that deals with spending within the city. We wanted their input so we can present a realistic budget. So we have a couple programs, including the Roosevelt Tough Leadership Academy and then the Our City Reg group. For compensation for employees, we're proposing a 2% COLA and step increases for eligible employees, as well as a few market adjustments within the budget for those employees that do meet those criteria. We're looking at innovation and cost-saving efforts through our City Rockstar program. We're encouraging it from the employees themselves to present ideas that will either save the city money or increase the resident experience and make their time interacting with government more enjoyable, which we know can be very difficult. And then we did a continued development of our firefighter pay structure. So we worked with our firemen. We want to make sure that as a lot of our volunteer fire department are getting more senior in age, that they're appreciated and that they are compensated appropriately. So those are some of our highlights. Now we'll jump, organizational chart, as we know, the ultimate boss is the citizens of Roosevelt City. And then it's the mayor and council, city attorney, city manager, and then our citizen committees that you spoke about tonight. And then we've broken it apart to these different departments: public works, parks, recreation, human resources, community development, finance, police, and fire. So we've reorganized to better serve the community with these different departments. Okay, so one thing that's very important to look at is I look at different staffing levels across the state. We do run on a much leaner staff for a full-service city. A lot of cities similar to us do not have water programs, they do not have police departments, they do not have parks or recreation. We are a full-service city and we do a fantastic job. And so I did want to get on here so you can see kind of the staffing levels. So taking you to some benchmark data on here, I'll put 2027 as well. Oh, there it is. Okay, so, apologize. We go back. So staffing levels on here. So benchmark, it is recommended that the total percentage of payroll within a city be a certain percentage of the total city budget. Doesn't have a laser pointer, does it? I'm gonna step over here to explain this a little better. So here's the total city payroll, total city budget. The benchmarks state that a lean rural city will have 50 to 60% of their payroll is the budget. Roosevelt City, we fall right into the 60 to 70% on here. We're at 64%. This is this current fiscal year that we're in. Another big sticking point for a lot of communities is police departments. Are we over budgeted? Are we under budgeted? We fall right at 29%, which, where's police? Oh, right here on our policing. Oh, here it is. We are right, we're a typical full-service city. We're exactly where we need to be. Our police department does a fantastic job. So any complaints that we might get that we're overly extended in our police department, we're not. We're doing a great job on there as well. And then as well on here, staffing levels, the benchmark is 9 employees per 1,000 residents. For fiscal year 26, we're at 6.53. We're running lean like we should. Now to the fiscal year 27. In the tentative budget, we have proposed 1 new employee. We've actually added 1 additional employee in our animal shelter, which is an employee going from part-time to full-time. So as you take the total payroll down here, total payroll of the budget, and we're going with a flat budget, is 67%. We're still right in with a typical stable rural city. I apologize, I'm probably screaming. I'm trying to talk loud so the microphone gets me. I'm not trying to yell. Then back to 9 employees as a benchmark. We're at 6.8 with raising those 2 employees. And these are full-time employees, not part-time, so full-time. Same with police down here. Our budgets, our staffing is exactly where we should be. Staff has done an incredible job here of fulfilling those, being able to solve those challenges in a full-service city, and I really commend the staff here. As you just saw a presentation from some, they do a phenomenal job. And again, if there's anything that along the way, just stop me.
Go back that one slide for a second. On that ratio of the full-time employees, are you factoring in like a part-time employees?
No, this is just, the benchmark is just full-time.
Strictly full-time?
Yes.
Okay.
We do have a lot of part-time employees, but it ebbs and flows depending on what shifts they work. And that's where it's really hard to determine. At the golf course, we may have X number of employees, but some may work 1 shift a week, so it's up to the department heads to manage that time within the budget they're given. But great question. Any other questions on staffing level? And then this, when it comes to budget, is my favorite quote. Don't tell me what you value, show me your budget, and I'll tell you what you value. As I visit other cities, one of the first things I do is I love to check out their budgets. A nerdy thing I like, but it always shows where their priorities are. And one thing with Roosevelt I think we do is we're very balanced. It's a great job that the city, our city council, and the community values is balance. You ever hit that button? Maybe I'll just right there. Okay, so here's the budget for fiscal year 27. You go to the next one. There's just some quotes I had in here, and yes, I do apologize. I am quoting myself on here, so just, you never know. But this budget reflects a continued commitment to responsible financial stewardship, operational discipline, and strategic investment in the future of our community. And that's really what this is all about. We're setting things up for the future. One thing I love to brag about Roosevelt City is our past leadership have done something amazing that honestly I don't think any community in the state of Utah has done. We have planned for growth when it comes to water. Roosevelt City, our past leadership were visionaries, and it has put us in an incredible spot, especially in times like now where there's droughts going on. Okay, so here we talked about our mission, our values, our vision. And then there at the bottom, you can see our budget team. And this is just our department heads, but really it does involve all the employees. You heard from Natalie tonight. She was pivotal in the budgeting part for the aquatic center. Seeing how we can make sure that we're getting every dime that we need, but that we're not overextending ourselves and not over budgeting. It is really fascinating to see, especially Edwin and Natalie. They will get down to the penny when it comes to things, and it's just a hats off to the work that they've been doing there. So the executive summary, this is in the actual budget packet. And I do have budget packets for any member of the public that would like to have one of these. This is just snippets from the budget, it's not the whole budget, but this again is the executive summary, which is kind of being summed up tonight. But this again, it reflects a steady conservative approach that balances operational needs, workforce support, and infrastructure investment while preserving the long-term financial health of Roosevelt City. We want it to be a healthy city. So then a budget should accomplish 4 different tasks. It's a planning document, an operations guide, a financial tool, and a communication tool. This is how we show the community where our priorities are, and it's important that we understand where we are spending the public's money. I love to comment that the budget is, I call it sacred money, because the residents are giving this and trusting us to be stewards over this to spend appropriately for the well-being of our community. Okay, let's get into some numbers. So, for revenues this year, we're estimating $11.9 million in revenue. The majority of that does come from taxes, some from intergovernmental revenues, charges for services, and then our expenses. We are a local government, we're fiscally sound, and we're financially conservative, which means we do balance our budget. We are not in California, yes, I said that on public record, and we are not the federal government. So as we look at that, you can see kind of our department breakdown, and this is where it shows we are very balanced. Our larger departments, public safety, public works, recreation, but those are ones that have more employees or more interaction with the community. So it is a very balanced budget on there as far as what we do. So break this down a little bit more. So in here, the revenues on here, again, this just shows where the majority of our money comes from for the taxes, for the charges, for the intergovernmental revenue. And let me back up. Apologize. And Zeke is here as well if you have any questions. Are there any specific questions within the expenses? We did go a lot more in detail when we adopted the tentative budget on here. The only changes that have made from the tentative budget to this was when the tentative budget was presented, we had the amount of money for insurance and the COLAs in a separate line item, and now they've just been broken apart into the departments since it was approved in the tentative budget. But are there any questions on the individual departments?
Just so you know, on the revenue side of things, we're kind of estimating what we feel like we're going to do next year. We don't really know, but we do estimate those revenues conservatively. We round down, for lack of better terms, and then base our expenses off of that. So we're confident that that's the revenue we're going to bring in, if not more. So.
Easy. And one of the initiative programs we have for new employees, the Our City Red Group, is a revenue estimating group. And so what we're proposing there is we would have a few employees that want to grow within the city and learn new aspects, especially in finance. And we would train them with some of the tools when it comes to revenue estimating. and give them an opportunity to present these numbers to city council and to the finance department as they are growing in the city. So it's a great opportunity. It's actually how I got pulled into city government, participating in a similar revenue estimating group. And then on the far right, you can see the number of staff per employees. This one does show 6 on council. However, council is not full-time, even though you probably put in more time than probably anybody else as council members. So there's where the staffing breaks down as well. But yes, the number does not equal the total because council is on there. So Don, don't do the math on there. In fact, check me on that.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. These are just the pie charts breaking down where the revenues come from, possibly, and the expenditures. And again, where the breakdown is, and we are sitting very appropriately balanced for the operational needs that we have. Any questions on that was all the general fund. Are there any questions on the general fund before we get to capital? Capital is what most people like most. This is our big projects. These are our exciting things that we're doing. So as we did this, we worked with our department heads, division managers, and we want to set a long-term focus. We don't want to be narrow-minded, so we said we would like all the departments 1-year list, a 3 to 5 year list, a 10-year list, and then a long-term list. So we received over 170 capital projects. Over $177 million was on that. Then we condensed it down to a $30 million. And then we have prioritized it down to our recommendation for council. And we did include all the feedback we got from council. Those have been added to these as well, as those are definitely our top priority. To 49 prioritized projects with recommended funding to $5.8 million for council's consideration on that. Ideally, with the funds that we have, if we were able to spend anywhere from $4 to $6 million, we feel that would keep us in a safe place to where, I hate to use the term rainy day fund, but essentially that is what it would be to protect the city if something should happen. Any more than that, that's not fiscally responsible, because the truth is we should not collect taxes if we don't need them. If we're collecting too much, we need to lower taxes or give the services to the community. So there's why we try to keep it to that specific range. So here's the breakdown of the 49 projects on here. It gets down to the 5.8 million. I'm gonna go to the next slide, but it's the same information, just a little bit more legible on there. And it will break down how many grants we have on here as well. So, grants should show up at the bottom. Should be one more. Read the right arrow. Thank you. So here's the 49 grants or projects. They are not in a prioritized level. The numbering on the left is just a number because they're alphabetically put up there. So you can see what department they originate from, what the name of the project is. The previous slide had a description. We have a paragraph of each one, so we can go into that. Then the estimated cost from department heads. Then the middle line, where everything on the far left is 0. Those are the grants that are involved. And then the far right one is the city portion. And then down at the bottom, we would need to budget $10.8 million for our capital projects, but approximately $5 million of that would be grants, so that is reimbursable. So the city, we're proposing to spend $5.882 million on capital projects. You can see the breakdown in the orange box there of which departments, where the grants are coming from. Public Works, they have a lot of projects on there with grant funding, as well as special projects on there as well. The projects listed in red, those are smaller amounts on there, and those would be sinking funds on there. I do want to come over here and address a couple things real quick on here. A couple of glaring things on here. One, All Abilities Playground. We are actively pursuing that. However, if you did not hear, we did not get the grant this year. It's a fairly large grant. We were neck and neck with our neighbors to the east, those dinosaur people. We did barely lose out on that. We were told our application was great. Unfortunately, I guess I'll just say it, ours was too much of an all abilities playground. They wanted it an ADA playground. So we now know what we need to present next go around for the application, and we are very confident that we will be their top choice based off our feedback there. So we do want to leave it as a placeholder. We do want to budget a little money for a sinking fund, but this number, if we get a grant sooner, we jump on it. If we get with our partners, we know that Strata, Moon Lake, the hospital, all have shown interest. We don't know what that number is there, so this will be a moving one on there. We want to get that done as soon as possible. But at this point, we also don't want to miss out on a big grant on that one. Splash pad is another one, a great thing that we are pushing really big at the city here. That one right now is a unique year, being a water conservation year. There's a lot of communities that are not even turning theirs on there. So we're proposing a sinking fund there as well. However, let me get to this. Green one's going to come up in a second. That's a big one. We do have on here, it's Centennial, 50s, Bear Park, State Street. We're trying to propose a park at the southern end of the city, somewhere, whether it be by Centennial. The city owns some property by the Gulch. There's some other property that we're pursuing on here. So we have $100,000 here. I'm actually proposing tonight to amend that to $200,000 here. For property acquisition on this part here. So the proposal, just pretend that says $200,000 there. This down here encompasses multiple of these different projects. So this total is not into the down here proposal, but it is one I would like to include into the capital project list based off feedback from council. This would include a South Park, again, one of those locations for land acquisition, parking lot, splash pad, all abilities park. So this would be moving the all abilities park with this splash pad and infrastructure. I was able to reach out to a couple different splash pad companies and get some very rough estimates based off of the locations that we're looking, again, on the south end of town. It's approximately $5.1 million on there. I definitely would like to recommend that we do have this on the list. It is not included down here, but it would be one that we would want on our capital list so we can take action if we have opportunity, if something comes up. Because I think that is a definite need, and I know there's a lot of interest from council. So.
Is that why if the green one's not counted, that's why it's 49 and not 50?
Yes. And so in the packet, you'll see on your packet with the budget, there's a dark blue box. There's a light blue box underneath it with smaller numbers. That would include the green. So in the packet it's in there, but on the PowerPoint.
And do we have the grants already, Mr. Rigg?
For these grants, yes.
We already have.
These are grants that we do have in place. And a lot of these projects, we are pursuing future grants and future opportunities. Right. That is another one of the things we're doing at the city is we are improving our grant abilities. We have Zeke, who is specialized in grants with a lot of experience. We have Sierra and Ryan, who have done a ton with grants as well. And we are actually undertaking a new process of training another employee that Zeke will give personal guidance to help with grants so we can go after as many grants as possible. We know there's a lot of funding out there, and we know that it's right for the city of Roosevelt for our needs.
And we have people in APR that have done grants.
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. This guy right here, Preston, thank you, Councilman. Preston, with our head of our APR, he's done a lot with grants and done a lot of great work. And again, the Teddy's Playground is a testament to that. But he's done a lot with grants throughout the city, not just the Teddy's Playground, but he's done great as well. So we have some incredible individuals that can do that. I forgot anybody else, I do apologize. Thank you for Preston. Any questions on capital projects? Again, we can talk about, we have more detail on each one. These are the big ones that most people are very interested in, so if there's questions, perfect time to ask.
Looks good to me.
That looks good. I think it should be noted, we've met individually as council with you and Zeke, and then we also talked about it last council, so that's why don't have near as many questions as you might think. So we've been discussing it for a while.
But did have previously.
Yes.
We did have previously, obviously, yes.
And we have incorporated all of council's feedback into this, and just so you're aware, we also met with department heads to get their feedback, so when they submitted their capital projects, we had to narrow it down, we went back to department heads, made sure that we weren't taking something off that didn't need to be there. We had great feedback from our department heads on that as well. One thing I did not mention on here, I apologize. This is a huge one. We do have the cemetery expansion on here. It's a huge thing that we know we've been working towards. We have $500,000 from city money. We are doing that in-house. We'll be able to do it for a fraction of what we've had estimated for bids. And we do have the golf course irrigation somewhere. 19? There we go. Golf course irrigation. 5.2 million. We're proposing to put $200,000 into that. Our proposal to council tonight is that we pursue a CIB grant for our golf course irrigation. We're currently getting a study to see what our water loss is up there. We know we're losing a lot of water when they turn on the water. Residents that live near there, they can see it firsthand when water's going into their basements. So we are getting a water loss study done. We have some funding there that the city would do to get the preparation for that CIB grant. This is a perfect year with water issues and with drought issues. So we are proposing this. We've worked with Matt, our new golf pro. I hope we've introduced Matt. If we haven't, we'll introduce him.
I don't believe we have officially.
Matt, you'll stand up. We'd like to welcome Matt. He's our new golf pro for the city of Roosevelt. This is his hometown, so we're very happy to bring him back. And he's phenomenal. He's been great. So thank you, Matt. And I'm sure he's very happy that this is what we're recommending for CIB as well. But with this, we will be bringing back at the next council meeting a more broken down proposal to go to CIB for this project so we can get started right away. But that's why the golf course irrigation is on there at 5.2 million, zero under grant funding right now, but 200,000 of city money. And then we do actually have a proposal that we can present later to council of how we can pay for any type of loan that we might get for that, in addition to the grant. So we have multiple proposals on that. But those are two of the really big things that have been talked about a lot in the community, so we make sure. And of course, as I stated, there are a lot of public works. We want to make sure that we are not missing out on public works. We have the $1.7 million grant for drinking water, 1.5 for road resurfacing, 600 for B&C roads. Our roads are definitely a priority, and Mr. Wolfinger has been fantastic of pushing and making sure that we are not lagging behind. So,
just as far as funding goes, the way this will be funded, the majority of the cash that the city has in the bank is owned by the water fund, and so we'll be transferring the Roosevelt City side will be coming from the water fund. Is our proposals to fund that side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions on capital projects? And then last thing, just again, we're going to spend with purpose, deliver with proof. We want to make sure that this is sacred money that we are using for the well-being of the residents of Roosevelt City. Any questions on the fiscal year 27 budget?
Two comments. One, I just want to remind especially citizens that while this is the budget, this we're going to try to stick to. Things do happen, and periodically we do have to reopen the budget during the year. We hope not to, but things happen, and we've had to do that in the past. So while you see these things up there and you see what's happening, that's the plan. Things do happen one way or another. Sometimes maybe we thought we could do a project and something comes up and we have to reallocate, but that's the goal, and I appreciate the work of our staff and everyone putting this together. And the other is we're not raising taxes, right?
Definitely.
Which I think is important.
If I may, Councilman, truth in taxation is really big right now in the state of Utah, and I'm on a list with a bunch of city managers, and I'd say there's probably 30 to 40% of the cities on that list are going through truth in taxation right now, raising their taxes, and we are not. So, thank you, Council.
Thank you.
And last thing I would remind council, if there's any public comment or when we get to a motion, remember the $200,000 on the park, South Park acquisition on the Capitol, not 100,000 is in the slideshow, 200,000 on that one. So it would change the bottom line on that.
Mayor, I move we go to public hearing for the final fiscal year 27 budget adoption.
Okay, I have a motion to move it to a public hearing for the fiscal year 27 final budget.
I'll second it.
I have 2 seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, at this point, we have opened it up to public hearing on our budget, fiscal year 27. Anyone?
Yeah, you did such a good job, everyone.
This is about our third look at it.
I know. I think that's good that we've had so many looks and people had a chance to see it, so. Seeing none, Mayor, I'd move to go back to regular session.
So you have a motion to move back to regular session
I'll second it.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, back into, we're gonna move that to our action item 8B.
And I would move, we approve with the adjustment of the land acquisition to 200,000 from 100,000 that was listed on the budget.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the budget with the adoption of the $200,000 for land acquisition. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I do have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Okay, very good. Moving down now, that puts us to action items 8C and
Don't we have 7C?
Yeah.
Is that-
Oh, sorry, 7C and 8C will be moved actually as an ordinance change. We'll have a discussion on this on the work session on June 2nd, and then we will move it to an action item on June 16th.
So that one's tabled, 7C and 8C.
Yeah, 7C and 8C.
Thank you.
With that, we're moving 8L to 8C, State Street pedestrian crossing change order approved. Greg Buxton.
Okay, I'm here primarily to discuss the pedestrian crossing on State Street and some of the change orders which are coming into effect. On a side note, before I do, I'd like to explain why I'm here instead of Mr. Troy Oscar from Civil Engineering. Myself and Russell Grant have recently acquired 100% shares of Civil Engineering. And so we're going to have the principal owners of Civil Engineering, and we are going to be really integrating into several Roosevelt City projects under the direction of Mr. Oster, who's going to remain with us as an employee for at least a year. And I would just like to say how excited Russ Grant and I are to be able to come and serve in our community where we were born and raised.
Thank you.
And just, we are committed to the integrity and quality of services that Mr. Oster has provided in the past. I started working for Mr. Oster when I was 17 years old, the summer before my senior year in high school. I've never done anything other than civil engineering, and this is an honor to me. So with that said, we'll move on to pedestrian crossing. The Roosevelt City Public Works determined that while the roadway was being widened and raised, it would be the best time to install the secondary water line. By installing the water line now, the roadway would not need to be impacted in the future. The cost of installing the secondary water line, including valves and caps, is approximately $16,947. So that's the first change order we're anticipating to be a part of the pedestrian crossing. The next item of work included in the change order is to pave the Cottonwood Creek Trail from the pedestrian crossing to where the paving ended last fall. When Roosevelt City paved this trail last fall, it was intended to match into the pedestrian crossing. However, the pedestrian crossing was behind schedule, and the city had to shorten their paving This paving is to complete the work that was delayed due to the pedestrian crossing being behind schedule. The cost to complete this paving, including the HMA and base course, is $64,401. The total cost of the change order as presented to the council is $81,348.33. This is what is on the agenda for the city council here tonight, is for approval of these change orders. There's a couple of more that we're gonna add to these, a couple of additional items that we'd like to put into the change order. Since this change order was put on the agenda, a couple of other items are being added to the change order. After meeting with city council on site, it was noted that the gabion basket walls along Cottonwood Creek were beginning to tilt away from the trail and toward the creek. We are going to have the contractor correct this problem. The cost to correct this issue is $15,549.05. The next item that we are going to resolve is widening the roadway, State Street from the pedestrian crossing to where the county widens State Street at the Nature Park entrance. This widening will include excavation, base course, and HMA. The cost of this work will be $36,164. Totaling these four change order items, we come to a total of $133,061.86. The budget for this project, we are under budget, and there will be no additional cost to Roosevelt City. So it's all fitting within the budget.
So I was going to note that this is we are under budget, and so this is still under the budget, and these were items that we will also lose if we don't bring it up.
Yeah, the state will want their money back.
Yes.
And so if we can get it done while they're here, it's probably better.
Yeah.
So,
Anything else you want?
I would just add that I appreciate the efforts and we approve. I think it's great.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the State Street pedestrian crossing change.
Sorry, I should
I'll
have
second it.
I do have a second. Any discussion?
I have a question. How close are you being done opening that road back up?
Well, the rain has inhibited the progress.
For sure.
So they're needing to get things to dry out a little bit before they can pave. I anticipate at least by the first of the week, if not even maybe later this week, that they'll start paving. But yeah, we just, we've got ponds around here that are bigger than Lake Mead right now.
We can't complain about that.
Yeah.
We'll take that. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Very good. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, thanks.
That leads us to 8D, zone change request. Dale Tribe and Drew Rush. You're up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight we bring to you a proposal for a zone change. We have brought this through Planning and Zoning Commission with a public hearing. This would be South State Street. And I don't know what's your address down there, yeah?
About 1600.
1600 South, right by the Gulch. Would be 2.19 acres roughly. Currently it is zoned an RR1, rural residential 1 acre minimum. The proposal would be to change to an R16, which would be a 6,000 square foot minimum lot size, and that would be in conjunction with the surrounding area. Do we have a zone map? Roosevelt City zoning map. It would be touching the existing R16 zoning boundary.
Did this have to go to planning and zoning, and did they approve?
Yes, with a public hearing as well, last week, yes, or 2 weeks ago. there any questions while she's pulling that up on this?
I just know in the past, as long as it's touching the same zone, we've made those changes pretty regular. We don't want spot zoning where you have some different, you're surrounded by, one property has a different zone than what's around it, but if it's connected, we've always.
Just gonna step over here, Sierra. State Street. Yeah, right here. Scroll down just a little bit. So all of this would be R16 zone. Keep going south just a little bit. This one piece right here would be the zone change right here. So it'd be in continuation with all of the surrounding area, putting it back to an R16.
And that's all in the city limits,
Yes.
so. It's a little rectangular piece, just someone else, is there a house there or something?
There is a home there. Dale did annex that in several years ago, or was that already on?
That's Randy Gilbert's.
Oh, that house, yeah. But the RR1 zone, you did annex in to get city services when he built a home right where the mouse cursor is, about what, 5 years ago, 6 years? So we would look for council's approval on the.
Yeah, I would move to approve. I don't see any problems with changing that, zone change, making that zone change.
We have a motion to approve the zone change request and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that leads us to. Yeah, Drew, you're still up.
I'll stay here then.
Randy, we're Eastman parking.
Okay, we'll pull this up on the map to explain a little bit better. This would be 100 East and 200 East roadways south of Tri-County Health, Metro Hill, for those of us that have been here for a while. The roadway initially, as the town was platted originally, they platted these roads 100 feet wide for what looks to be Main Street, Highway 40 here and continuing down, which did not take place.
So that was it, wasn't it? The one you just had?
Sorry. Yeah, that one and the other, do the Grant Hayward one. Yep, that one. So what we have is a humongous easement that is not being utilized for the roadway. So we have shoulders on both sides that are in excess of 27 feet. That currently is just dirt, and the city has no infrastructure there or no desire to widen that street. It's already at an adequate width. So the proposal is we have some development on the brink, and it has passed through planning and zoning. The current one that you're looking at now is across the street from Stone Ridge Apartments on 8 South. There was a trailer court there historically, years ago, that they moved the trailers out. The proposal would be to utilize the shoulders of the city easement and road right-of-way for the required on-site parking for these multifamily. With the agreement and talking with Grant and Kirby, our Public Works Director, we would require a service agreement with the landowner. And this particular one would have an HOA. They would be required to put hard surface of concrete, and they would be responsible to maintain that concrete. Our sidewalk would be required to be in front of the parking stall towards the building or the.
So they will still have the sidewalk.
Yes. And the maintenance would be the responsibility of Roosevelt City in a 10-foot PUE, public utility easement, on their property. We have discussed in planning and zoning of having a little wider than the regular 4 foot for parking if they're overlapping on the 4 foot sidewalk as a parking stall. Maybe we require them with a 5.5 foot sidewalk instead of the regular 4, or put some curb stops in the parking area. The agreement would be they would maintain the parking area and the city would maintain the sidewalk. So what we are looking for tonight is approval for the use of the city easement with a service agreement with the HOA or the private property owner to utilize that for the on-site parking, as well as the other one you had up before, Sharon. Well, you can keep that one, sorry.
What is, like, how many units are there and how many parking spaces?
So it is the required parking per our code of 2.25. This one actually did give us a few more until we get our code changed, which we are working on. Hopefully that'll be next month when we get that draft. They did adhere to a few more parking stalls than what was required. At the top of your screen where our cursor is, you see those other 4 lots above the pink. That is a separate development.
Here, right?
Yeah, that is a separate development that will be coming for approval as well. They have requested the same usage of that easement, so while we're approving, we would like to rope that in as well.
With the same sidewalk setbacks?
So my question is, do we need to approve these separately?
We could, one would be the Bryce Murray development and Brant Hayward, so those would be the 2 developments.
Do we need to do that, or can we do it?
I'd recommend doing it
Separately, okay. That's good. And you said planning and zoning was good with this, right?
Yes.
I remember we talked earlier, so.
They did recommend the larger sidewalk, and we can work with Grant on that service agreement and identify what that width would be. They were concerned of the vehicle parking over the 4-foot sidewalk, which is a legit concern.
Do we need to, in the motion, do anything with attorney approval or council approval or anything that way? Or?
Yeah, I would still put subject to.
Subject to council review?
Yeah.
Fine. I would move we approve the Brent Hayward easement parking approval based on Drew's recommendation with council approval on the service agreement.
Okay, I have a motion to, sorry, which one?
The Brent Hayward.
The Brent Hayward, sorry.
I'll second that.
And I do have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I would also
And then
entertain a
I'll
motion
make the
for
same
Murray.
motion for the Murray, that we approve the Murray easement parking approval based on Drew Escher's recommendation, planning and zoning as well, and with council approval of our review of the service agreement.
Okay, I have a motion for the Murray easement,
I'll second it.
and I do have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Okay. All right, thank you, Drew. Moving on to 8F, this is the K2 water agreement approval. I've been working with Grant on this, and this is something that's been a few years in the making that we did not get into paper or get onto paper and into a contract or an agreement. And what happened in the past is we had several citizens of Roosevelt that actually traded their water shares for secondary water and the use of. And what had happened was there were several that were involved in this, several that had passed away, or the agreement was if you pass away or the land comes into, you sell the land, or it goes into another person's name, then it becomes null and void. We still have 2 people that we have been charging for those for the secondary water. And so we're proposing that we put this into contract, and I am proposing that we reimburse them 4 years, which is the
Statute of limitations.
statute of limitations. Thank you.
And you brought
I
this,
suddenly drew a blank there.
and you brought this up last time in our work meeting, right?
Yes, we
Same
did.
one.
This is what we discussed in the.
We just
meeting.
now need to approve it. Is there anything special that we need on the motion, just to approve the
Do
K2?
you want these both separate?
Yeah, I would do these separate too.
So we have one which is for Wade Betts, and then the second one is for Mickey Betts.
Okay.
Same situation with both of them, and anyway, I think we should do them right and honor that, because the city took on the water that was transferred into our name, so
So I move we approve based on recommendation for the Wade Betts water.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the K2 water agreement for Wade Betts. Do I have a second?
I'll second
I do have a second. Any discussion?
Is it just a lump sum proposal on reimbursement, or we reimburse, or
Well-
we not charge it for 4 years?
I think it'll be a lump sum payment on that.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved, and I would,
And then the same motion
Thank
for
you.
the Mickey.
Mickey Benz. Okay, I have a motion to approve Mickey Benz K2 water, and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Thank you. All right, 8G, we have moved that one actually to June 2nd. Did you want to update that one? It's basically some of the contract issues, but versus, contract versus part-time, so we're gonna table that until the 16th, correct? Second.
The second, yeah.
All right, 8H, actually, we have already approved that. So we will not need to discuss that one. That one has been approved and we've signed that. 8I, the city flower water agreement. Dustin?
Yeah. Mayor, council, good evening. So it's that time of year again to put out the flowers on Main Street and to get them watered again. I'm really pleased to announce that we will be recommending that Adrian and Kathy Walker be watering the flowers again this year. They did an amazing job last year. They kept up on it. They watered it daily. They took pride in it. They were in communication with me all the time. Anytime they had any issues with the truck, they needed supplies, they were in contact with me a lot, and I appreciated that. And they made the flowers look really good as well. And last year we did have a little budworm issue, and they were awesome. They were on top of it. And if they weren't on top of it and reported that, then it would have eaten the flowers, and we wouldn't have any flowers at all. So they're really on top of it. They take pride, like I already said. So I would like to discuss and propose that they take care of the flowers again this year with a few adjustments to the contract from last year. Last year, we paid them for compensation $2,400 a month for watering the flowers daily. I would like to propose that we pay them $3,000 per month to water the flowers again this year. And that's the only adjustment that we have with that, is just giving them an increase in pay. What's your thoughts, concerns, and feelings about that proposal?
Any questions?
Are we providing all of the materials, equipment?
Yep.
Everything?
We're providing the truck, the water, the fertilizer, the stuff to kill the worms, whatever they need. We just want to make it as easy as possible, but they're going out and they're watering it every night, so.
I've actually had a discussion with them, actually last year, and they were talking about how they would go in the mornings if they need to, they go back in the evening during the hot times of the day if they need to. And I think they've really done a very good job of taking care of that.
Very good job, and I think this is why I recommend this pay increase, just because of the good job that they did, and knowing that they will do another good job this year as well, so.
How long does that service run?
It runs, so it'll start, actually, we'll have the flowers out the 27th, which is next Wednesday. We'll put the flowers out, and then it'll go till September time. October 31st is the official date that it ends, but usually we pull them a little bit before then. When they start to go in October, they go fast, so we have it for October.
Unless the county wants to change it though, we have drafted the contract to apply retroactively to May 1st and then go through October 31st.
That's correct.
Any questions? Any further questions?
How many pods do we have, just out of curiosity?
Just under 200. Yeah. it's a lot, you know, and we've already been working with them and we've spread them out a little bit more, so they're not just all compacted together. And we've added a few businesses, some flower pots as well, so.
I knew there's a lot, I was glad you had a number, because that's a lot.
It's a lot, and it takes them a good amount of time each night.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not an easy task at all. I don't think
And
people
coming off a
actually.
year where the year before it was not
No,
good.
it was not good. It was a nightmare.
Appreciate the job that they're doing. Yeah, the flowers were not looking good the year before they took over.
Well, last year was really good.
Yeah, it was really good. It was hot too, the dry year, so.
I would move we approve the flower water agreement with the recommendation from Dustin with
Pay increase.
$3,000
a month.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the city flower water agreement with the addition of the $3,000 a month.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a second. Any other discussion? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, thank you. And just for information, they'll be out the 27th of May. So.
Perfect, thank you.
All right. Roosevelt City Golf Course cart tracking.
First time from the council, that's awesome.
First time. Council, Mayor, good evening. Been a minute since I've been in front of the city council, since my days in Orem, but we have a memo, just in case you guys aren't aware of what we have with the golf course. All of our golf carts have a tracking screen up in the top corner. And it allows us to see where the golf carts are, what they're doing, and not be in any locations we don't want them to do. So we are proposing to pay for the cart tracking module for the next 12 months. And then in a future date, amending the lease of the golf carts to include the tracking module in the lease. And it's something that is of great value to the golf course, because when we have a spring like we had this year, which I wasn't around for, but if we did have another spring like that, we can better handle where the golf cart traffic goes with this cart tracking module. But it also provides a level of security for the golf course and for the city. When people come and check in, they sign their name, driver's license number, what cart they're taking out, and if something happens, we know exactly who it was, what happened, and why it happened. So it provides another level of security for the city in case an accident does happen. The cost of that is $10,080 for the entire year. I have already gone through the budget with Zeke, with Edwin, and with Josh to pay for that out of the golf course equipment line item. There is $17,707 left in that. So we're well within the budget to spend the $10,080, and then the remainder after, if we receive approval, would be $7,627 left in that golf course equipment lease line item.
My understanding, I thought this was a one-time fee? That's what I thought I read.
So the fee he's proposing right now is a one-time fee now, and then he's also mentioning that the lease needs to be amended. The amount he's saying right now too is in the council packet as a heads up for approval. Really, he's standing before you too for the lease amendment.
Which I have the paper here for you to go over as well.
Okay, yeah, I've read it, so I was just confirming.
So
Any questions?
I'm just curious about the tracking module. So if someone, like you, I understand it doesn't allow you to go in areas, like if you're trying to repair the grass or something, you want people in area, does it beep at people? Does it?
It just shuts the cart off.
Oh, really?
They literally won't let the cart go forward.
That also includes the greens, correct?
Yeah.
How do they get out though if the
You
car's?
just throw it in reverse. So you have to throw the cart in reverse to get out of that area, and it
Okay.
shows up on the screen like a red area. And so you just throw it in reverse and then.
That's fine. I was just curious because I hadn't seen them before. So.
Yeah.
You ought to take one out, Don, see where it lets you go.
Or push it.
I am curious.
You can't push it, it locks it completely, yeah.
You can't push it, huh?
No, it locks the cart completely.
Get four guys and just lift it, right?
You could do that, that'd be a lot more work worked out.
I've done that before, but it's not a golf cart, a VW Bug, but that was a different.
Have you seen an improvement with the use of that as far as currently? You have it in place now, right?
Yeah, we have it in place now. It's been a great tool for Mike, the superintendent of the golf course, too, because as you know, the spring was tough. I mean, I wasn't out here, but even with including this this year, we've been able to remap the golf course to where if we have dead spots, they can't go there. It's roped off, but also because we can manually set where the golf carts can drive. And so it's been a great improvement that way, keeping people out of dead spots that we're regrowing, and then keeping them where we want them to go, which is city carts.
Has anyone complained that they've had to do that?
Not that I've heard, but I'm sure it would fall on deaf ears because this is an important asset to us.
Do you warn the people though? I mean, when they take.
We do, yeah. We tell them like, hey, if you get too close to the greens, if you get too close to tee boxes, it'll shut off.
That's good.
Does this feature also have the ability to notify you when the cart's been out for like 4 hours and 45 minutes and hasn't been returned yet?
It does show us on our desktop in the Pro Shop. So on the desktop in the Pro Shop, it keeps a track of all the golf carts, and if they're out for too long, you'll see it'll say cart 31 is now red, and it'll say, oh, they're behind pace, so they've been out for too long. And so then we do have the option there to send them a message from the Pro Shop, say, hey, you're behind pace, you need to pick it up, or you're needed back in the Pro Shop. We can send a mass message to all carts.
Cool.
We can send a messages to singular carts. So it's been really helpful for tournaments too, because we do a lot of double shotguns. And so the afternoon flight typically plays a little slower, but we can send mass messages out to all city carts that are out and say, hey, you're behind the group in front of you, please pick up pace, or you need to be back to the pavilion in 30 minutes for raffle or whatever.
And you can activate kind of a beep that just will shut off when you want to shut off, right?
And then the message will just keep relaying on screen.
I think that's pretty awesome.
It can be annoying, but yeah.
I'm sure it's annoying, but I still think that's a great tool.
It's kind of funny when the cars go backwards all the
It has no effect on personal golf carts that are owned by residents in general.
No, but it's still up to Matt just to chew those people out.
Yeah.
I would move we approve based on recommendation as they have the money in their budget.
I have a motion to approve the Roosevelt City Golf Course cart tracking module. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I do have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Welcome back, Matt.
Thank you.
I usually charge.
It's expensive, I'm sure.
That's another former student survived my math class, so glad to have
I'm
him
sure
back.
you still do all the wonderful things.
No,
I'm not saying which one do you?
Oh, right here, so signature.
I think you actually told me you were gonna be a golf pro when you were in class. So I'm glad you
Well,
reached
I'm
it.
glad I made that come true.
Is there a water bottle behind you by chance? Back there? I just wanted to see the dirty.
Okay, that brings us to AK. And, city sanitation services.
That's a good initial for this one, okay. Thank you, Mayor. So tonight we discussed in our last workshop a little bit about sanitation services options. As was mentioned, our contract is coming to an end at this fiscal year. So we've discussed things internally. We want to have a proposal for council, and I believe we speak as some council members. There might be another very similar proposal. But one of our desires is to make sure that we don't have a lapse in service. So in an effort to not go out to an RFP, to renew our contract with K&K, our recommendation tonight is that council authorize a couple individuals, mayor, other council that are available as well, to sit down with K&K, negotiate to renew our contract with them, and then the proposal from staff is that we shift over the billing part to K&K, and then they keep the fee that the city's been getting for that billing process. And so we're not asking for official approval tonight, but for a go-ahead to take that next step. And there have been some other discussions that I know wanted to come up.
Did you have a question on that, or?
Yeah, Josh, I think option one is to shift the billing, but the other option too is to relook at the amount that the city is recouping from handling the billing component of it and making it more worth our time and effort to do that. That's part of the service as far as, collecting the bill, the stamps, Mary Ann's time. I want to relook at some options, so I'm all for continuing the negotiations and handling out those terms and facilitating and keeping K&K the service for the trash collection from the city.
I would like to be on the committee negotiator, work with them. If Bo wants to, maybe the two of us can figure out a time to meet with Dave and Brett and whoever else from K&K. I agree. I think K&K provides a great service. Like I said, my concern has always just been with the city employees and the amount of time they're spending and what they're doing. And we have lots of projects and things, as you pointed out, and I just want to make sure that they also are able to do the things we need them to do for the city. So if we can work something out, I'm all for it, and I'm not opposed to what Bo said and looking at that as well. So if that's okay with the rest of the council and mayor, I think I'd be happy to meet. I'm sure mayor can be there as well if he wants.
I think the sooner the better.
Absolutely, time is of the essence on this, and fortunately, we have some representatives here from K&K. If they're okay, we can set that time.
I'm not good the rest of this week, but after that, I should be around anytime after Memorial.
I'm happy anytime in the evening, afternoons or evenings, or how about maybe even Monday?
It's a
holiday. No, it's not.
The mayor has moved the Memorial Day be canceled.
It's a holiday for who? Greg?
Yes.
Maybe Tuesday?
Tuesday. I would like to get off center.
Tuesday afternoon's good for me. Mondays and Wednesdays, evenings are harder because I teach, but Tuesdays or Thursdays, I'm usually pretty good. Thursday actually I have school board anyway, next 2 weeks.
We do have our legal meeting at 4:00 scheduled. Grant, would you be able to move that forward to like 3:30, or is 4 still better?
I've got court in the morning, but I think I could do 3:30.
Okay, and then how about 4:30?
Tuesday at 4:30?
Yes.
Works for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Any other discussion?
No, Josh, you send me a calendar invite.
Yes, I'll send that to the three of you.
All right.
Does the other council, I mean, we can't have everybody there, but do you want at least?
Are we gonna meet here? Is that okay?
Would you prefer to meet at your place? You've always come to the city, so we're happy to.
We can come here, it's no problem.
Okay, I'll send it out.
Very good.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Okay, so Tuesday we will meet at 4:30 right here.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brett.
Thanks for staying. Dave's like, I didn't have anything else to do, right?
Never does. Oh, did you want to
Good thing you're
pass
there to
this
line
out,
them
or
out,
did you
right?
already? Oh, to Josh. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, 8L, State Street Oh, sorry, we've already taken care of that. We are down to 8M. It's administrative hours of operation approval.
Thank you, Mayor. So just to highlight a couple of things, you have the draft proposal in front of you, and you've got a little bit of time to look at that. As you know, there's some administrative nature with this policy that makes it kind of unique depending on different positions. And so I just want to hit a couple highlights on this. So the proposal for the schedule would be a standard 7:30 to 5:30 schedule. Employee work window would be 7 to 6 o'clock. There would be a required core coverage to make sure that we are accessible to the public. There's a couple different options on number 4 for the standard work schedule of what employees could do. The day off structure on number 5 would be that Fridays would be the standard day that we are closed. Over time, we definitely have to watch that very carefully as far as what we're doing. Number 9 is probably the most important part of this entire policy, and that's a public service expectation. Paramount to anything else, this policy does not work if it does not work for the public. So we need to make sure, as far as departments, employees, that we have coverage to the public during those times, and that the public does not take a back seat. You do not do a 410 schedule as a benefit to the employees. You do it as a benefit to the public to serve them outside of the regular working hours. And so that would be the primary focus of the employees, is to make sure that we are providing that service to the public before the normal start time of the day and after the normal end time of the day. Furthermore, on that policy, remote work, we already have that in our current policy, but we'll be reiterating that. And then number 11, the implementation plan, would be the proposal would be to finalize yes, that's the new one. Finalize the administrative schedule right now, from now to June 1st. Kick it off June 1st to August 31st, that would be the trial period. And then do an evaluation at that time to see if this is something that we continue or something that we discontinue. One thing administratively, regardless of what direction the city goes, if it is not working, we can administratively change it for certain employees, certain departments, because Paramount is the public access. So that would be something we would definitely have to look at there as well. So even if things are not working out, we would end up before August 31st for those departments that are not meeting the expectations and availability to the public. So within this policy, one thing that is very paramount is documentation. A lot of this burden would fall to Mary Ann and Rochelle up front, as far as documenting when people come in, if they're not getting the services they need, if people are not available. So documenting everything we get is going to be very paramount during this trial period to make sure it is beneficial to the public and to any other, I guess, the individuals of the city that need those interdepartmental services as well. So that's kind of the quick rundown of the policy draft here, but it would be written into policy, and it would be very, very much monitored to make sure that we are fulfilling the goals behind the 410 work schedule.
So if we approve this tonight, we start June 1, we end August 31st, will we go back on September 1st to the 5-day? Or would we, in other words, when are you evaluating to determine if we want to keep it or not?
Great question. So we would be evaluating the entire time. That's for each department. And then that last week would be our final evaluation. So come September 1st, we would know, okay, we'd recommend we keep going with the schedule or we revert back. So September 1st would be the decision of when we go forward or go back.
If we make it that long, which I'm hoping we do, I would hope that at that the second council meeting in August that you would have a report for us. Because I think it's important, because if we get a lot of phone calls, we're gonna let you know, but we'd also like to know public how they're, your data. So it would actually help us to know, since otherwise we won't meet till that first meeting in September, which will be after you've already made a decision. So it'd be good by that the third Tuesday in August for our second meeting to have that data.
So you're just
or
asking-
information.
Yeah, you're just asking for the first bullet under phase 3 to be bumped up on into
Right.
phase 2.
Yeah. I just think it's important for us to, because we're the ones making the decision to try this based on recommendations and my observations, et cetera, of some things. But I also agree with you, we don't want to do this and then have, some issues with the public at the end of the day. But I think it's good to try it and let's see what happens. But as a council, we need that information then so we can say, looks like it's working, let's keep going, or it doesn't look like it's working, let's go back to September 1st, we'll go back, so.
And council, if I can add one thing to that as well, I would actually get with Mary Ann Rochelle to do monthly reports.
That'd be
So
fine.
you're getting continual progress, because again, you as council will be the ones that will, hopefully you don't get the complaints, but if they are, a lot of times they do go to council and want you to have the information, so. Yes, I'll work with her to get monthly reports, but we'll definitely present in that council meeting as well.
I have one kind of a quizzical inquiry. So we have 410s. Are we going to allow someone to work 11, or maybe 12, 10, 11, and then go on vacation, take half a day on Thursday and leave early, or
So,
without
yes and
having to
no.
take any personal time off?
Can you go back to number 2? So on number 2 on there talks about the core work hours. So say you have an individual that loves to work at 2 in the morning. Okay, that's honestly, as a staff member, very well knows I get a lot of emails from me at 2 in the morning. That doesn't benefit the public. And so while that might work for me, that does not work for a work schedule for the public. So we do have the core hours of when they can work. Anything outside of that, that's just crazy me. But, so that is our core work hours. Now, if they do want to take vacation time, they can take vacation time and they can use it accordingly within the schedule. So vacation's a little different, but that
They
can
can do
serve
that
to
now.
Yeah.
It doesn't change.
But they're not able, according to policy, they cannot come in at say 2 in the morning and then leave at noon because they want to leave early. They cannot work outside of the core schedule without prior approval, which would be a very limited basis. But that's a great question.
You can't set those 2 o'clock emails to deliver at 7:30.
True.
I have a question as well.
Yeah.
So, and maybe Cody knows how they work this in Lake, but if a lot of the federal holidays land on a Monday, so then what do those work weeks look like? Then they're just 3-day work weeks?
So it's a great question.
That
Answer me first, sorry.
Yeah, that's basically it.
And so there's 2 things that we're balancing as far as, because another question is, if you have a 10-hour day off, do you get 10 hours of vacation or only 8?
Right.
So right now we're balancing, I've been gathering data. The initial response that I was proposing to staff was, you get 8 hours of vacation and you need to make up the 2 hours. There are some cities, Centerville City just, Matt, was it you? Someone just sent me Centerville City's policy, and they actually take one of their regular vacation days and they lose that vacation day, but it makes up for the 2 hours throughout the year. So as far as those days, yes. Back to, as you said, it could be a 3-day work day depending on the holiday on there. But the hours are very important, especially for hourly employees, because we do track those. And the salary as well. I mean, the salary, if they're working at 2 in the morning, that's just what you do.
Mike had a comment just in your evaluation period, where I do the 410s, a 30-minute lunch is pretty short. It was pretty difficult for a lot of people to take their lunch in that amount of time, so we've adjusted it to 45 and it has worked a little better, but like I said, in your evaluation, that might be something you want to look at and pay attention to.
Perfect, that's a great point. I'll note that down.
How much, what do you have planned as far as public input on this?
Just receiving input from the public as they come in. Yeah, that'll be one thing. So if somebody comes in at, say, 5 o'clock and we're open till 5:30 and they say, where's Josh? Josh isn't here. we're gonna make sure that they're tracking every complaint we get, every concern like that. And so part of that is also very important to know, is Josh, for example, gone for the day, or is he over at the police department visiting with the chief? So it's very important communication within the office, communication with all the employees is occurring, because we need to be accountable to the public.
Do we have plan to put our signs up to let people know of the change if we make it, and also to put it on our website and things, so that way we can start educating the public now?
It's out on the marquee too, and
Yes.
Edwin can put it on social media.
I just want to make sure, like, starting June 1st, this is happening, make sure when people come in, they know it, we can talk to people. That'll alleviate some of the complaints, because if people don't know, and then they come in expecting on a Friday, but no one said anything, that's a problem. But if we communicated that, as you say, communicate sports, also communicate with the public.
Absolutely. And if council approves it tonight, we would start that first thing in the morning.
Will you utilize the radio?
I can if we need to, just need to find some.
Is that the radio?
The radio.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, we can do that.
And we have some,
We do have a lot of people here in Mason that still listen to the radio.
yeah.
Okay.
And if anybody has any other avenues, please let us know, because we want to get that information everywhere.
Well, this was my proposal, so I would move to approve as a trial.
I just have a quick question about the holiday thing. I have the same schedule, 4/10. Most holidays do land on or a lot of holidays do land on a Monday, but some do land on a Friday. When I have a holiday on a Monday, that's my normal day off. I can flex and take another day off, so I have that holiday in that week. So I'm not working 4/10s that week and not getting the holiday. You'll have that on a Friday for, like Christmas and other holidays that rotate throughout the year. So you got to factor that in when you're looking at this, because some holidays do land on a Friday. So you'll have people that need to take additional days off that week, or they'll have too many hours in that week on a holiday week.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. I will go on record as doing 4/10s is actually a privilege. I'll be honest, being on the Moon Lake board, I wasn't a fan of 4/10s. I'm still not a fan, but I'm not opposed to it. But it is a privilege. I mean, to be able to have a 3-day weekend, I mean, I'm in the wrong profession for sure. So,
You're just jealous.
that could be it too, but
Well, I moved we approved, Mayor, since it was my proposal.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the 4/10 hours of operation and a second. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion approved. That leads us to the city procurement policy.
Hey, Council, where this is already run through the work session, I'm just gonna kind of jump to the bottom, so if you could go to the second to last page of the draft. So while we're getting it, just real quick, the purpose of the procurement policy, I'll just read that on section 1. The purpose of this resolution is to establish clear, lawful, and practical procurement system for supplies, equipment, services, construction, and public works. That's to protect the interests, provide fair access to vendors, promote value to the municipality, and empower employees through clear delegated authority and streamlined procedures. So we set this policy to ensure that we set the budget like we did tonight. We allow those departments to have a set amount of money. But then the other side of that is we have a procurement policy to make sure we're being good stewards of that money. And so the second to last page, page 8, breaks down, we have to establish what we consider a small purchase and then a large purchase. And so that number one there is where we've set what we consider to be a small purchase relative to the city. So when we have an employee out making purchases, we have to establish what baseline do we want to set where we say, okay, let's slow down and make sure we're getting the quotes that we need and giving vendors a fair chance at these purchases. So that amount we set is $2,500. We looked at all the purchase orders that were created in fiscal year 25, and we had about 5,000 purchase orders created. And 85% of those purchase orders were in this number one range from 0 to 2,500, which is the vast majority of our purchases were in that level, but they were only 10% of the total spend for the year. So we have a high volume in this category, but a really low percent in relative to how much we're spending. So that's why we settle on this amount. They're still encouraged to price check and get the best price possible for the purchase, but they don't need to get a purchase order or go up in the chain of command to get approvals. Once they get to that 2,500 threshold, that's when we require 2 quotes when practical. Written or electronic documentation is to be kept, and they do have to get a purchase order. It does require the department head approval and finance director, and then the city manager notice or approval if required by the manual. And then the next level, number 3, is 10,000 to 25,000. They're required to get 3 written quotes when practical, keep that documentation, and then it does require the city manager approval, governing body approval, and required by the ordinance, and then budget action or contract signature rules do apply. And then 25,000 and above, formal solicitation is required at this point, unless there's an authorized exception, which would be if it's a state contract or something like that, they don't have to do that formal bid process. And that does require city council approval to come here by ordinance to adopt it and award that contract if that was the case. So that's just the kind of, and we did put this in the appendix so that if we do have to change this in the future, we could have changed just the appendix and not the whole ordinance at that time. So, any questions regarding the purchasing policy?
I'd say, Josh, is this the appropriate matrix or thresholds for you to conduct business?
Yeah, this would definitely expedite things, but keep safeguards on purchases as well. So I think this is a very appropriate level for our size of government.
And the department heads and employees feel pretty good?
Yes, we've put this through the department head meeting probably 30 times. So yes, it's been one that has been massaged and moved, and everybody feels very comfortable where it's at and actually really excited to be able to get things done.
Part of this was clarification, correct?
Yes, definitely.
Or most of it, probably.
This is another one, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
If I may, before you make a motion, if there is a motion, would you please include in the motion that this does go one final legal review? Grant has reviewed this document, but I did make a couple of clarifications. There were a couple of locations where it said ordinance instead of resolution. And so I would like to just get his eyes on it one more time. So if there is a motion, just please include pending legal review.
Yeah, this is one I've wanted for a while because I feel like we have great employees, but we need to make sure they have the tools to do their jobs. And it felt like just to go get a hammer or something, sometimes felt like you had to go through so many approvals to get something done. And I want them to feel like we trust them to do their job, but I still think there's safeguards and things in there that will allow them to know that they're still being checked, they're still accountable, but they can do their job. So I would
entertain a motion.
I would move to approve with council review.
Okay, have a move to approve with council review.
I'll second it.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you for putting that together.
Did you all have an opportunity to look at the expenditures?
Yeah, I would move to approve the expenditures and
I second it.
I have a motion to approve the expenditure approval and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. City manager's report. Did you have anything left to report?
Just one quick thing, because I don't think it's been mentioned. I just want to publicly congratulate our Union Boys baseball team in taking state, as well as Roden Weaver winning the girls javelin, Lisa Richards winning the high jump and long jump, Ridge Olson winning the 400 meter, and Cruz Labrum, Brady Whiting, Ridge Olson, Hunter Horrocks for winning the sprint medley, and Hunter Horrocks for winning the 3,200 meter. All state champions from Eden High School, so I just want to brag on them a little bit. So
Wholeheartedly,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
wholeheartedly a second.
And all the ones that made it to state and great kids.
All right, there we go. The copy that I had, we didn't have that bottom part there. Any committee reports?
Nothing from me.
We did mention the June 28th, right, Interfaith concert in the park.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, June 28th, it'll be the Interfaith Council Park. It's going to be a patriotic themed one to kind of kick off the 250 year. It's a Sunday at 7 o'clock at the Old Mill Park. We encourage people to attend. We'll probably mention again next month, but and I know there's a lot of advertising going around about the 250th things, but the Interfaith is putting on a patriotic themed music in the park. So
Thank you.
the mayor is invited to go speak.
Okay. All right, I don't know how long, but.
Doesn't have to be long.
just one more reminder for council and Matt, because he's asked about it. Next work session, the time has been moved back to 5:30. Just a reminder for everybody.
5:30?
4:30.
4:30.
4:30.
4:30.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah,
council is
and-
4:30.
The last thing that I have as far as the committee reports is, so we have america250.utah.gov, and they are encouraging the community barbecues to get together, and they have designated July 5th. I've asked that we write up a letter so that we can send them out to
There's
the religious
actually
organizations, the
A
Interfaith Council.
letter that the Duchesne Commerce has put together, and Mary Ann's had it at the front office. So there's one that's kind of going around for Duchesne County, we could just kind of promote what they're doing, I think.
And I would like to send these out to all of the local churches.
And maybe
We
Evan,
have
could
had
put
several
that,
dropped off
yeah,
through Interfaith.
through Interfaith, and maybe we could put that on our social media too, what the chamber's doing.
And then for anybody that would like to celebrate by walking 250 miles this year, you're welcome to join me.
Yeah.
I've got about 144 miles down, but so I'm almost there.
Good job.
With that, I would entertain a motion to,
Well, we got a closed session, right?
oh, yes.
I would move we go into closed session to, for purpose of
Land
discussion of land acquisition.
Okay, I have a motion to move into closed session for land acquisition.
Roll call it.
And roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'll second it.
Yes, we do have a second.
And
Let's start
aye.
again. We do have a second now.
Aye.
Thank you. We will adjourn to closed session.